I'm going to read two poems from a new book, and then two by Joseph Brodsky for the echo. In late afternoon light, the tops of the breadfruit leaves are lemon, and the lower leaves are waxen viridian, with the shaped shadows greenish black over the eaves of the shops, and the rust-crusted fences that are Indian red, sepia, and often orange. But by then the light has ripened, and grass on the sides of the houses, and even a rooster crossing a yard blazes like a satrap. The lighthouse is already on bulbs, and they are saying the novena in the cathedral, and the fishermen consciously become silhouettes in the postcard sunset. This is when a powerful smell of baked bread drifts, and when the hum of mosquitoes becomes tangible, when the road ruts deepen, and faces that I love harder every year turn towards the dusk and deepen also under the coconuts. It is indigo now, and the sea will continue to burn until the last plane crosses with its green and red wing lights headed north. And it is now definitely night, and the stars come where they were ordered to protract the idea in patterns of infinity, and the sand exhales, and there on the edge of the sea, green and red lights slowly droning where stars and fireflies breed. Poem about Edipus at Colonus. After the plague, the city wall caked with flies, the smoke's amnesia. Learn, wanderer, to go nowhere like the stones, since your nose and eyes are now your daughter's hand. Go where the repetition of the breakers grows easier to bear. No father to kill, no citizens to convince. And no longer force your memory to understand whether the dead elect their own government under the jurisdiction of the sea almonds. Certain provisions of conduct seal them to a silence none dare break, and one noun made them transparent, where they live beyond the conjugations of tense in their own white city. How easily they disown us and everything else here that undermines our toil. Sit on your plinth in the last light of Colonus. Let your knuckled toes root deep in their own soil. A butterfly quietly alights on a tyrant's knee. Sit among the sea-eaten boulders and let the night wind sweep the terraces of the sea. This is the right light, this pewter shine on the water, not the carnage of clouds, not the expected wonder of self-igniting truth and oracular rains, but these shallows as gentle as the voice of your daughter, while the gods fade like thunder in the rattling mountains. Joseph Brodsky's Lullaby. Birth I gave you in a desert, not by chance, for no king would ever hazard its expanse. Seeking you in it, I figure won't be wise, since its winter cold is bigger than its size. As you suck my breast, this vastness, all this width, feeds your gaze the human absence it's filled with. Grow accustomed to the desert as to fate, lest you find it omnipresent much too late. Some get toys in piles and layers, wrapped or bound. You, my baby, have to play with all the sand. See that star, a terrifying height, aglow? Say, this void just helps it, eyeing you below. Grow accustomed to the desert. Uniform underfoot, for all it isn't, it's most firm. In it, fate rejects a phantom, faint or gross. One can tell for miles a mountain by a cross. Paths one sees here are not really human paths, but the centuries which freely through it pass. Grow accustomed to the desert. Flesh is not, as the speck would sigh, wind pestered, all you've got. Keep this secret, child, for later, that I guess may just help you in a greater emptiness, which is like this one, just everlasting. And in it, love for you shows where it might end. Grow accustomed to the desert and the star pouring down its incandescent rays, which are just a lamp to guide the treasured child who's lit by someone whom that desert taught to wait. A love song. If you were drowning, I'd come to the rescue, wrap you in my blanket and pour hot tea. If I were a sheriff, I'd arrest you and keep you in a cell under lock and key. If you were a bird, I'd cut a record and listen all night long to your high-pitched trill. If I were a sergeant, you'd be my recruit, and boy, I can assure you, you'd love the drill. If you were Chinese, I'd learn the language, burn a lot of incense, wear funny clothes. If you were a mirror, I'd storm the ladies, give you my red lipstick and puff your nose. If you loved volcanoes, I'd be lava, relentlessly erupting from my hidden source. And if you were my wife, I'd be your lover, because the church is firmly against divorce. Okay.